Picture this. You're walking through the grocery store produce aisle. There are fruits and vegetables all around you. But oh, what's that? A tiny little tree thing? Is that broccoli? Hold on a minute. There's another tiny tree thing next to that one, except it's white? Something's not adding up. I'm Johnny Clarity, and I'm here to tell you, broccoli isn't real. Let's start by talking about the color. Normally, a green vegetable wouldn't be a bad thing. It's common knowledge that a lot of vegetables are green, so one more green vegetable shouldn't really raise any alarms. But that's exactly what they want you to think. If we look a little deeper, things start to get weird. Broccoli starts as a rich dark green on the top, but as you get closer to the base, it gets lighter. Why would just the top be darker? Unless, well, think of an Easter egg. For those of you that haven't made one before, you dip it in your choice of colored dye. And then when you pull it out quickly, the part you lowered in first is darker, and the rest of the egg gets to be a lighter shade of that same color. Interesting that broccoli looks the same way as a dipped Easter egg. And very interesting how cauliflower is stark white like an egg. I think you see where I'm going with this. Broccoli is just dyed cauliflower. Now you guys are pretty smart, so you might be saying, but wait, I've seen other vegetables that are lighter on the bottom and darker on the top. You expect me to believe those ones are dyed too? I like that you guys are questioning this on your own and thinking for yourselves. That's how we get answers. You have to remember though that those are all root vegetables. For root vegetables, since the base is in the ground and part of the roots, it makes sense that the colors would be different. But broccoli, all those parts grow above ground. So by using that same rule, we would come to the conclusion that the only way to achieve these colors would be with dye. So the next step might be to ask why? Why would the government be dyeing cauliflower to make broccoli? Is it just to boost profit with a different product? Well, I wish it were that simple, but it never is. Cauliflower isn't real either. It's just bleached broccoli. So how can it be both? I better explain. We'll start with the first why, cauliflower into broccoli. When cauliflower gets moldy, it starts to turn green. So, to try to increase profits and cut down on food loss, the government decided to steer into the skid. They thought, let's just make the whole thing green. Now, cutting down on food waste isn't a bad thing, but it is when they're forcing us to eat moldy vegetables. That's why kids hate broccoli so much. It's instinct. Little kids know that there's something wrong with that gross green food that's just been put in front of them just by looking at it. And the awful smell it makes when it's cooked? Disgusting because it's rotten, but after being conditioned to eat it for years and years, they forget what they knew all along, that broccoli is not real food. Now as conditioned adults, they can repeat the cycle and teach their kids to continue eating a food that humans know they should not. But what happens if the newly formed broccoli doesn't sell? Do you really think the greedy government is going to let that potential money go to waste? No! They bleach that broccoli back into cauliflower and start all over again. The bleaching kills the mold that's accumulated, but the former broccoli soaks up the bleach, so now you're putting harmful chemicals into your body, not to mention all of the fillers they inject to cover up the mold. So what came first, the broccoli or the cauliflower? It's like that question about if the chicken or the egg came first. And like that question, it's all rigged! Neither one came first because no one grows broccoli or cauliflower. There's a third plant no one's talking about. I haven't been able to find much information on it, since the government is definitely going to keep a cash crop like that under wraps. For the purpose of this woke video, we'll call it Broccoflower X100. Broccoflower X100 probably came about after the secrets of the bonsai tree were shared across the globe. It is definitely genetically engineered, and if my research is correct, it is likely a genetically altered cross between a bush, some celery, and maybe an Alberta spruce. The tree species is difficult to pin down, but I've ruled out a number of species of palm tree. It is grown in secret greenhouse science facilities all over the country that use the latest in bonsai tree technology to keep the power species miniature and in check. And by keeping it smaller, they can sell that many more units to the consumer for profit. We could try to dig back even further to ask why did they create this, but without an answer from the source, we only have very small clues to go on. My conclusion is that it was created by accident, but Big Farm saw an opportunity to profit off of their unnatural mistake. All I know is cauliflower is fake, broccoli isn't real, and the next time we're at the grocery store, we need to keep our eyes open, people. This is Johnny Clarity, fighting for a better truth.